Hey there, Smite fans. Welcome to the North American Smite Pro League. It is week number 6, day number Thursday. My name is hi-rez Bart. That's Drybear, and we are a few moments away from the Fat Chunks versus Thurst. And, well, there is a lot riding on this game, even though it is the two bottom seeds from North America. This is last chance territory for Thurst. They have to win out, and everything else has to go perfectly for them to get that automatic bid into the playoffs. And, well, if they don't win this game, they'll just be fighting for the 5th versus 6th place seed in relegations.
Yeah, you look at the North American side of things. Things are a little less, black and white, right? I mean, you have Cognitive Red, they're already locked in.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Team Dignitas, Cognitive Prime, they're one game away from being locked in.
Yep.
You look at Snipe, they're pretty close, and then Fat Chunks is, they're fighting for that 4th slot, but they have a long road ahead. And you look at Thirst, and then, if they lose this match, it's pretty much out. So, it's pretty much just all right there for them, and they have to make this work. And so much just riding on this. Now, of course, they still get to play out. They still get their compensation. They still get their time of fame and all that. But then, they have to start preparing for Challengers Cup right away.
Well, we do have the picking and banning phase underway here in Fat Chunks. Well, it actually has been extremely fast as Nemesis Thanatos banned out by the Chunks.
Holy boy.
Banning out Wolfie. On the side of Thirst, Bacchus or Freya gone. In the meantime, the Chunks have elected to pick up Kukulkan as their number 1 overall on the side of Thirst. Ron Geb. So standard picks over on the side of Thirst for Fat Chunks. Kukulkan in the first pick spot. Granted, this is on the original kind of Kukulkan balance before the latest patch. So
keep that in mind.
I mean,
it was before the duration changed, right? So it's still going to be 3 seconds in the duration of the whirlwind. That's not going to be in place anymore. So Ra and Geb, 2 Egyptian gods locked in here, the 2 most popular Egyptian gods in the game right now. So we're going to see them being played here. Across the way, Kukulkan picked up first. And again, very strange. I mean, even the bans are strange about this match, right? And you can see that, you're playing against 2 different teams that play differently. I mean, as far as like Chunks, they like to innovate. They like to change it up. They do like Fenrir, Cupid, Nuwa, Hunter, Aphrodite. I mean, I feel like a lot of this is just talking about Sam Shrew. It's rough, but the same thing goes for Thirst. They do definitely play things differently here. They're going to pick up in response Athena and Mercury after Kukulkan, and then we're going to see Apollo picked there. No Rom.
Yeah, Rom neglected, and that leaves some options for the Chunks. We'll see what they do, like to ban out. But Apollo Gebra, very strong core from Thirst, very traditional style of draft over on the side of the Chunks. Fairly traditional as well, although that Kukulkan in the number 1 overall spot, a little bit out of the ordinary. Osiris getting banned out now by Thirst, and the final ban going the way of Chunks.
Yeah, so one more ban to go there, Osiris, and then Kronos. And up against Thirst, of course, you want to get that out of the hands of someone who's not playing currently. So there is no fusion. So they're banning out Kronos anyways, I suppose, unless there was a name change or something.
No.
Albert Church is going to be picking next there for Thirst, so we'll see what they decide to go with here. They've already got their Hunter, they've got their support, they've got their mid/solo. I would imagine this actually be a solo here, but we'll see how things work. One thing to note, Nanton is actually playing for Thirst today. He has made his ever-so-epic comeback to play today. They need a jungler, and they also need a mid/solo, depending on how they want to run things here. They need a Wall.
And they're going to take a Thor.
There it is.
Makes sense. Granted, how well does this fit Wolfie's playstyle? Remains to be seen. Thor, when we see him on him before,
he's hit or miss.
And when the misses start piling up, they don't stop. It seems like Wolfie, as we kind of touch on fairly often, kind of this emotional center for the team, but does have a tendency to tilt. And Thor, a god that is almost impossible to play from behind.
Yeah, that's right. He's also almost impossible to play against when he's ahead. So that's kind of like the line you run and the risk you take. Across the way, Chunks is going to be hovering underneath here for their Hunter. So Rom has been completely ignored this time around. And I think his surprise is going to be as strong as ours, as we're not seeing him being played. Of course, you will see Neith. And curiously enough, you're going to see Odin selected here. Now, generally, as far as Odin's progression through the game, his damage falls off very hard. And so as a support, he really stops doing damage. If you're playing Guardian with no damage items, like 8 or 9 minutes, he stops doing damage to the point where you care about it. And so you look at his ultimate as kind of the catalyst for team fights, but not seeing a whole lot of chances here. Now they have Athena, so it looks like it's going to be a solo Odin this time around. Is this the first time we've seen solo Odin? I think he's always played as Guardian. We saw one jungle, right?
Yes, but no, what you're probably going to see here would be, my guess, is Odin, Jungle, Mercury in the solo lane, Athena, Neith, and Kukulkan. That would be my guess. The trading's going to come out. Okay, and they will not. It'll be the Jungle, Mercury, and solo lane Odin. So solo Odin coming back, and he'll be going up against Guan Yu, who is way better than Odin in the solo lane. This is a really hard matchup.
Odin versus Guan Yu. Is it? It's 2012,
yeah, really.
Right?
Where's Sobek solo here?
Right?
A mystical male rush as well, but
man.
this matchup is heavily favored for Guan Yu. I mean, it should be like 9-1, like in terms of out of 10, how many games it should win. All things equal, Guan Yu has this matchup 9-1. I'd say. I mean, it's like about as bad as it could get.
The biggest thing is that Odin's actually a lot squishier than he used to be.
That's right.
And then Guan Yu's going to lower his protections and also do bonus damage.
He's going to bird bomb, and Guan Yu's going to be like, all right, Talu Assault.
I hear you.
And I heal it. You know, like it's going to be no problem.
Well, I mean, this is a little bit different lineup, guys. So this is a bit of a treat for you at home to check out this lineup here. We're going to see Guan Yu picked. Don't really see him all that much. Neith, not very common either. Kukulkan, I don't think we've seen him ever. And then Odin, of course, not really played in the solo lane just yet. I believe this is the first time we've seen him in solo. We've seen him once in jungle and mostly in support, but I don't think we've seen him in solo just yet. Now, he does have merits in solo. He does have a lot of damage he can bring and extends his damage out. Right, yeah, he's got... but really, he's one of those early game warriors. So again, his damage scaling, even if you play him as a damage dealer, does fall off still around 25 minutes or so to the point where he stops doing significant amounts of damage. So we'll see how they counter that.
Well, on Guan Yu, is that
Odin?
Odin, okay, yeah, Odin. So, yeah, I mean, as a damage roll, it's going to be weird, right? It seems like they picked the Odin because they want to go with the Athena.
Sure.
Right, and that it's kind of anytime you can get those two gods, in some respects, you would take that.
Which, I mean, Guan Yu Athena has always been a very common combo.
Yep.
Horse into the ultimate, free damage. Interesting.
But with Odin here, I mean, he's got a lot of clear. He's going to be able to take the waves out quickly. And, like, I would really have liked to see the Odin solo pick going into something that didn't have great clear, right? Where you could really, like, abuse that and try to snowball the lane by, repeatedly pushing the wave in their tower. Maybe going up against, like, a Giannis or something, right? Where you're just, like, he's not going to be able to clear, like, rank 4, rank 5.
Sure.
And I'll just clear the wave over and over again, and that should be enough maybe to give me lane advantage. But, I mean, not that Odin wins that matchup by any stretch of the imagination either, but at least he'll have a better early stage of the game where here Guan Yu is going to just shrug off any of that early damage. And Guan Yu, unlike Odin, does scale pretty aggressively in the later stages of the game. His ultimate is the highest base damage ability for physical in the game.
Right.
Scales every hit as well, which is quite nice for him. And he's going to be building that Mystical Mail, AoE magic damage, and it works quite well with his kit. So all things told, this game is a very, very dangerous one for the Chunks. They're going to have this period at the like 15 to 20 minute mark where they are just garbage. Like this team just doesn't like Odin's going to fall off. Athena is no longer going to be a relevant damage source either. And Mercury, if he's not really, really excelling in the jungle, is not going to be really a carry yet, and then it's going to be all Kukulkan and Neith ultimates, and that's really dangerous.
Well, one thing to think about as well is there's going to be a lot more utility on Thurst. They have two healers with Guan Yu and Ra, but let's go ahead and check out who's playing what here. On your screen, you're going to see both teams light out for you. The right side of your screen in the green, that is going to be Thurst, and the left side of your screen in that, I guess you'd call that a sand color, is Chunks, of course. You see Herwood at the top there, 422 GPM. Not a positive KDA, but you would expect that for the second to last team here. Samshu 29, 51, 75 GPM. 397. He's one of the few people in the league currently who have less than 400. I believe the average GPM across the board, including all outliers, is around 408 or 409. So he's well below average as far as that goes. So he's having a tough time in that lane. But granted, he is the only hunter in the league that has run 2 mages in that role so far in the SPL. So definitely hurting him in that regard. Cyclone Spin boasting 448. Definitely very, very high there. Actually, the most on his team. Cyclone Spin has been a bit of a star for his team, and he's coming out this time around to play Odin, so we'll see how that works out. But speaking of the gods, Odin there on Cyclone Spin, has he played it before? He has not, so 0 stats for him so far. Across the way, you're going to see that Thor there on Wolfie's mug is going to be 394 GPM, so he does not have a lot of success on that Thor.
No, he has not. Definitely a 2-10 as well record with a god. However, Samshrew, one of his better performances. In fact, they actually won with this god, did the Chunks, and well, that's not something you say very often about them. They did pick up a win with that Neith, so 2-1-10 in what appears to be 2 games. So not a very active Neith for Samshrew, but they definitely have had some success there. And yeah, as you can see, well, in the mid lane, Cyclone Spin, Hurrowin has had some success on Kukulkan especially. Granted, they haven't found a lot of wins, but his slash line looking pretty respectable there. So, I mean, all things told, it's been a tough league for Samshrew.
Well, you're going to have globals, right? You're going to have Neith ultimate to stick in with the Kukulkan ultimate. It's pretty easy if you're an experienced Kukulkan player. Of course, previously Al Guang, those you've been around for a while. You have the ability to kind of like see the Neith ultimate coming and time your ultimate to hit right when the stun hits or right thereafter. So it's pretty easy to get some free damage outside of that. So definitely a lot of combo potential there for Herwin in the mid lane with Kukulkan. Now you also have the Athena ultimate coming down as well. You have the Neith ultimate across the map, which will stick them in place and stun them outright. And the question is, what are they going to use to be able to build this up here? I am so
That's
really
what I'm looking at too.
surprised.
I mean, yeah, you guys don't see it yet. Driver's pointing at his screen. Ilbert Chacho has picked up an Eye of Providence. As we're just now loading into the game, we'll be pulling in just a second here, but I am assuming that's a misclick. That he meant to buy a Blink, rank 1, and has actually picked up an Eye of Providence here.
Is it?
And oh man, that is going to be rough.
Well, at this point, we're waiting to get into the match, and you honestly go ahead and throw out in chat and at home and wherever you are in the world right now, your favorite team is. If you're looking to have Thurst take this match and move on up in the ranks, or will it be Fat Chunks Assemble? Fat Chunks Assemble still has a chance to qualify, and they're looking to do it. Of course, Cognitive Red is already locked in. Cognitive Red could lose the rest of the SPL and still make it to the regional championships to compete for Worlds. But then again, you look at this second level of relegation, right? You see that Challenger Cup in North America is not as fierce as it is in EU. They have a chance to go down into the Challenger Cup wildcards and then come back up to the regional championships.
Yeah, but the way these teams are playing, I mean, it doesn't look like that they're unbeatable by the Challengers Cup teams. I mean, even though, as you said, in North America, the competition isn't quite as fierce as it is in Europe. And over in Europe, people are looking over at Agilitas saying this team really, I mean, they barely missed making it into the league, kind of a quote-unquote freak loss for them.
Sure.
And here now, they're looking really strong over in Europe. In North America, there doesn't seem to be that standalone 5 Angry Men winner there. But, I mean, we've seen just some really sloppy play from these teams. The Chunks have really struggled, and Sam Shrew has just been awful. Like, he has not had a good game yet in the Smite Pro League. And so when you go into a team that is going to have a high-performing hunter, right, these teams, I mean, they have good players. Pain de Vion, notably kind of still down there floating around. Like, there's good players in the Challengers Cup. And I think individually these teams are going to lose some of those matchups and have a hard time winning. And realistically, it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of practice. I mean, Nantan quit the game competitively to focus on school, and now they're subbing him in at the last minute. Like, it just doesn't feel like the Chunks are really prepared.
The depth charts are hard, right?
Or
trying to find
is Thurst incredibly prepared for this. I mean, you want to see them kind of come together and coalesce, but at this late stage that we're saying, these teams basically have one loss left. Whoever loses this game is basically going to be in the 5th or 6th seed overall. So it's been a challenging path for them. And, well, who is going to win this battle here? Unfortunately, that Eye of Providence was sold off, so.
It'll go away and come back possibly never again. We do see Cyclone Spin. Of course, he's going up against a physical jungler and a physical solo laner there on Odin on the left side of your screen. So he's going to pick up Runeforge Hammers. What this item will do is give him physical protection and HP, which are both very fantastic stats to have as a defensive item, but also gives you a little bit of control once you actually get the passive active, which of course will convert your physical protection into power and make you do a little bit more damage here. Very strange start. You can see the left side of your map. Chunks will go for the back left Harpies, take those down and go for the blue. This is a timing that is pretty strange, although generally the order side will always get to the long lane first just because they have a faster path. So if you're fast enough, you can get both of them and move into lane. And of course, it should actually respawn by the time the jungler on your side, in this case, is going to be Unique. He'll be able to get over there as it's respawning anyway, so it's no harm, no foul for anyone. I think it's a net gain for Chunks.
Look at the positioning in the mid lane from Merwin. He's like all the way up there harassing Jacob Malifaux with in-hands. Of course, no rotations coming out early from those solo laners that are
I don't know if I like it. I mean, he doesn't have consumables. He's rushing Book.
Yeah, the Book of Toth Rush, yeah, the positioning seems a bit aggressive, right, because he takes a couple of beams, but he's getting away with it just fine. He's playing it out quite well for himself.
I play a lot of Kukan/Ao Guang. And the thing is, if you run the Book Rush, you have to be careful with how many of the squalls you throw out. I'm sorry, I don't even know the name of the new ability. I'm so lost in my life. But with the first ability, I mean, the squall you throw out, you have to be careful how many you throw out because you don't really have any consumables to get your mana and HP back. So if you throw a lot of mana down, you start to run out pretty quickly here. You can see he's already at 1/3 mana. He has no consumables to boot and needs to be able to clear the wave effectively.
He's got the Vamp Shroud. Wolfie may actually try to make a play here. At least a stun. No, they're just going to clear that out. Hitting level 3 now, level 4 for Jacob Malfoy. And, well, looking at the backside XP camps, that was picked up on a rotation from a Roar. And really, he kind of seems to stand alone as the bright spot for Chunks here. Roar has seemed to be an extremely, extremely powerful support. In fact, we've seen a lot of bans specifically against this player. And I think that he may be positioned to be the the real standalone for the Chunks. Like this guy, this kid has really got moves.
Well, Cyclone's been definitely very strong. We've seen Heroin take off as well, and Aurora definitely a very strong player. In fact, a lot of the highlights we've seen has come from Aurora. Right side, Cyclone's been actually getting a little bit of the better of Osmos.
Oh, he's in trouble here.
Side.
Yeah, he's already used his leap and the bird bomb. Doesn't have anything
No
to
ultimate,
deal with this. No ultimate on to Osmos, but look for this next wave.
He's
Cyclone's
still
been really gonna do
trading.
this. But when this next wave comes out, look for just the reaction ultimate from Osmos.
Now, to be fair, he does still have his own.
Oh, he's gonna hug. He's gonna hug and go in. Oh, he's level 5 now. This is trouble for Cyclones, but he's dead.
He has an ultimate. He put the ultimate down and jump out. And the horse can't get out and go, and he has nothing to do to the spears. So he always has that
That's
trump
true,
card.
yeah.
He can just put the ult down, jump out, and he's perfectly fine. It just depends on how long he waits to do it. He's going to be heading on home here. What will he buy? He actually does not finish off the Runeforged Hammer. He goes straight into boots here, and Hog 2, of course, those you don't know, Hog 2 versus Hog 1, it does the same amount of damage. It just has a 30-second less cooldown.
Looks like Thor is in the air, looking into the mid lane. Heroin underneath his tower. I think they've spotted this out. Crashing down and picking up a couple of minions is Wolfie. And, well, not much more cooking there, ladies and gentlemen. As well, Unique is here as well, and he's looking to make a play as the mid camps are coming back up. Looks like we're going to have some action here on the left side. Unique, Aurora, and Heroin from Fat Chunks. It's Elbro, Chacha, and Jacob Malfoy on the side of Thurst.
Double
And,
time.
oh, there's the ultimate coming through. It does miss Jacob Malfoy, but they got the tornadoes down on him. Snipe coming out. Doomsayer's Roar. First blood, maybe on the docket. Indeed it is. Unique will pick that up. 3 minutes, 28 seconds. Taking to the sky here is Nantan. Oh, looking in some trouble as well as Elbro Chacho down. He will go to Heroin, and now it's Nantan in some trouble. His ultimate already used. Alevi dash forward as well. Tornadoes should secure that kill. It's 3 opening kills for the Chunks, and they have pulled quite a bit ahead of Thirst here.
First blood at 3 minutes and 30 seconds there as they do run over to the Gold Fury. Osmos is here. Now, of course, we all 5 members there for Chunks. What can he do by himself is the question. He does have his ultimate available if he wants to try to get outside, but that's a denial right there. Putting the spears down and making sure that's secured. He's going to head over to the mid camps and try to steal us away, but Unique is already there to hog it, and they're free and clear. So Chunks get first, second, and third blood, as well as a Gold Fury at a very early 4 minutes. That's going to put them at the 4 minute and 15-second mark, 2,500 gold ahead and 2,000 experience to boot. It's going to be a very tough road for Thirst going forward here in Chunks, looking to take a very strong lead.
I mean, what's scary about this is what most teams look like against the Chunks. And they seem to be this far ahead of Thirst, right? I mean, that's... Granted, Nantan hasn't been playing very much, but that rotation into that fight was pretty much certain death. And he gets cleaned up. And now, with a comfortable lead that they can sit on, over 2,500 gold at this point, 4 minutes in the game.
Right.
I mean, what we don't want to see out of Chunks is last time they did get ahead, they sat on their lead for a really long time and couldn't do anything with it. But this time they have some gods that are, as we mentioned, Odin is going to fall off. So they're making things happen with him, though, right? They got the first 3 kills. They picked up the Gold Fury with his ultimate. They're doing the right things to make this work for them. Plus, they have that Neath that they can rely on to set up the ganks. I mean, around the map, Fat Chunks with the advantage is going to be a really strong
damage
team.
coming out. Osmos forced to pop his ultimate. Nowhere to go, though. Trapped by the spears. Damage coming through, and he will die. Triple stun. Made you look again, though.
Yeah.
There you go.
He made him
here
look.
goes Thor, though. Will he try to go for the backside on Mercury? He's by himself.
way.
No recovery.
No
Kukulkan
way.
is there. He's going to disappear. Too low on HP, but that's the thing, man. You pick up that old ultimate against pretty much, let's see, 1, and that's it. Pretty much only Thor can get out of it without using an ultimate. Apollo can fly out of the spears, but that's it.
That's why you last pick Odin's.
That's it.
Right? I mean, like that's really where he fits in the strongest, right? Either this god is in a state where his other abilities are strong enough that you pick him just because he's really powerful and does damage,
Which is not.
or you pick him because he's got a giant ring for his ultimate.
Yep.
And that tends to be why you would pick him. And I think teams more and more are coming to terms with that. He's not that much different from why you pick the old Odin back when he wasn't in a state of being really, really strong.
Yes.
And last pick, you can see just how powerful he can be. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Combat blinks are going to need to be bought here by Thirst, but they haven't even started itemizing into Blink 1 yet. It's going to be rough, right?
Well, you look at it, right? I mean, you got a massive slow on Kukulkan. You have a taunt on Athena. You have a grab from Mercury plus a stun, a Neath root as well as a stun, as well as a slow. And so you have a lot of CC that they're going to have to choose from. 3 of them already have Hand of the Gods. We saw the Hand of the Gods solo, Hand of the God jungle, and Hand of the God support. So they have to make that second choice as, is it going to be a combat blink or is it going to be a purification beats?
Right.
And it's hard to make that choice in almost any situation. 6.5 minutes in the match, the right camp will spawn up here. Second one's going to do a lot of damage to Osmos.
Yeah, that hurt.
Fight. Mid camp on the left side will be spawning.
Gab used an ultimate here, but still going to fall.
On Bro Chacho's enough.
Now going into Cyclone Spin as well. Aurora channeling the ultimate on top of him. Ra not going to take the damage there. Too slow was Cyclone Spin, and Jaco Gonna skirt away to safety, but looks like the flank is on from the Chunks. I'm sorry, from the Ratchet Boys here.
Oh!
Herwin cleans up Osmos, crashing down as Nantan as well, looking for some return kills. He's under tower, but does find the double on that rotation. That one looking a lot better than his first rotation. Thurst finds themselves on the board, but not before 7 kills come out for the Chunks, including that return kill on the solo laner. And, well, can Thurst take this small window here where they've got a couple of gods down to find maybe a camp to steal or something like that just to help themselves out?
Well, what the problem with that is it's really hard to group up against Kukulkan. It could be the case that many players aren't playing against Kukulkan anymore and they're not really used to it, but he was able to line up a perfect ultimate there. Whirlwind was able to get almost a double kill. One of the kills was taken away by Cyclone Spin, but massive AoE damage taken there. And of course he's going to go home and finish off his Book of Thoth, which is of course going to work with his passive, which makes a really big difference. Power of the Wind Jewel is going to be used there and increases his maximum damage by 5% of his maximum mana.
Good old Wind Jewel.
And that's going to be that. That Wind Jewel is always so valuable.
The Jewel of Wind. Unique here in the jungle on Old Mercury. Is going to be going that Heartseeker build. What do you think about that?
I think it's more of the movement speed. I think that you look across the way, Thurst doesn't have a whole lot of mobility on individual targets like Ra and Apollo, unless Apollo uses his ultimate. Thor can teleport without it. I mean, he just wants to get close to them once their cooldowns are down and just punch them. Plus, he's going to start to scale out of control. Now, there's one downside in the way that he's kind of giving them a comeback condition, in the way that if they drop stacks on his Heartseeker too often, he's going to be less damaged than he would if he went any other item, so it's tough. But if he doesn't die, he makes a big difference.
Trying to make a play on a Brochacha. They got the slow out on him. Get Shield coming out. Ultimate as well. There's a Neath ultimate coming in, and he's dead to rights. And actually, that ultimate going to hit Wolfie as well. Mercury going to try to bail out of this one. Looks like he's going to be okay. Snipe coming out from Ra. Not even close. That ultimate taking him way out of range there. Wolfie still pretty low here. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get much more going around the wrap. Yeah, forced to back now as well. The Chunks seem to be really, really in a good spot here. And, well, we kind of talked about this timing in the next about 10 minutes where they're going to start, that Odin damage is going to start being less relevant, and it's going to come down to a lot to Kukulkan. Well, it kind of all is hinging on the fact that Unique is not doing massive carry-style damage at that stage in the game. And with a Heartseeker, if he gets it fully stacked, gets his next pen item online, even a rank 2 building in that Jotun's Wrath, he's going to be doing plenty to kind of bridge that gap until he can really get powerful and Samshu gets the crit going. Right side, we have another ultimate coming out here onto Osmos, and this time he's going to be able to age us away. Some of that damage. Furbound coming through. The horse is here. Osmos looking good. In fact, Wolfie up in the air. Is he going to go in here? No way. Wolfie's gone in. Elbro Chacho's in the Fire Giant pit. Spin to win out onto a Roar, but no damage there. A Thor ultimate used and nothing picked up. If only Osmos had taken a bit less damage, would have been able to turn around and try to re-engage. Perhaps they would have been able to make something of that.
That's the power of becoming CC immune and hopping on a 4-legged creature to ride off of the battle. He's able to get away just fine. Of course, that will make sure he is secured to go. But, looking at the itemization so far, I mean, it's all damage on the side of Chunks. It's going to help them in so many ways. They have a strong lineup here, and I think, and again, like when I was talking about in the picking stage, it's pretty easy to line up the Neath ultimate into the Kukulkan ultimate every single time, and we've seen that. We saw the Neath ultimate in the mid lane going to El Brochacho right in the face. It's the Kukulkan ultimate. He just gets hit really quickly by that Spear of the 9 Winds, and everything just takes him down a peg. And so now you see Chunks 8-2 here at the 10-minute mark.
The famous Chunks lane swap. I love this strat. This to me is like where the Chunks feel like they're like one really good manager maybe, or a player swap, or just getting their heads. I don't know what it is, but they have these really innovative strategies here where, as you can see, they've rotated Neath over to Soul Lane, where she's going to do quite nice against the Guan Yu. She has a shorter lane to deal with, can safely farm for a long time, and also set up ganks a bit better. And it doesn't matter where she is because she has that global presence. I really like this swap. It also puts Odin over into the long lane, where he's so much more resilient, and plus has better access to the Gold Fury, which he's really great at zoning out the enemy team if they're trying for it. Neath, of course, it is a longer rotation for her, which means that their Gold Fury timings are going to be weaker, but it does afford her a lot of free farm. And, well, as you can see, it's a bit of an arms race now, as Thurst has forced out the rotation as well. Nantan is here to go up against Samshu.
Very weird is Wolfie picking up that heavy hammer after boots, delaying that quite a bit. Now keep in mind, we are on the last patch, the Kukulkan patch, so it is still 1,100 gold. Left side, Cyclone's been taking some harassment from Osmos and El Brochacho, forced to disengage here. We do see in the jungle rotation coming out from Wolfie, but not able to get there in time, punting him away like a soccer ball.
Go back here. Go back.
Gold Fury is standing up here. A lot of vision there for Chunks. We see a Sentry Ward and a Standard Ward right on top of the Gold Fury. Whirlwind is hurrying back into the mid lane here to put that tornado down, make sure the minion wave gets cleared out. But you're right, I mean, we do have that Hunter swap into the solo lane to make sure they are perfectly safe to farm up, but it also means
Cyclone's been going in on the Brochacho here. The Athena ultimate coming down, doing some damage. I'm not sure if they have the follow-up here. There's the talking about. There's the Neath ultimate. That's going to be enough to secure the kill. Doesn't even need it. Osmos is here. Jacob Malfoy's rotated over. He may have a snipe coming out. Thor ultimate as well. There is the ultimate from Ra coming through as well, but not enough damage to kill the Odin. He's just so tanky. Bird Bomb as well, giving him some temporary HP. It's Aurora in some trouble, and Unique will indeed fall to Osmos. Pointing forward is Wolfie on the mark with the Mjolnir's attunement. Can he get there in time? Herwin's going to be here. Oh, it's a big three-man taunt. There comes the ultimate from the Alkwang as well. I'm sorry, Kukulkan coming back.
Oh.
Bird Bomb with a double. What a play by Cyclone Spin. The Chunks turn that one right back around, making it an even 2-for-2 trade.
Jacob Malfoy making his way out of the fight there. We do hop off the right side. We're going to see Neith and Apollo coming together to see if Samshu can find this kill here in the absence of his team. Nantan forced away, but what a beautiful jump in there from Odin. Cyclone Spin making the best of his damage. He's got that penetration from the boots. He has that Runeforged Hammer and Tier 3 Blink online. He's got the Blink in, the jump out. Combo potential is online, but really it comes down to the power of Athena and why she's picked so much is she has the setup potential. There are times where all it takes is a single good taunt to end the team fight right then and there. And we saw that three-man taunt into the center of the Kukulkan ultimate, and so far Herwin has been absolutely surgical with how he's been landing those ultimates every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I don't know, man. You look at the Chunks and you're like, these players individually seem really good. Obviously, as I referenced earlier, Samshu really struggling and has not been playing great in the SPL by any stretch of the imagination. But he's really got a gem going here. He's way up over Nantan. 500 gold, in fact, has taken the Tier 1 in the solo lane as well, and is really sitting pretty in continuing his farm against the Apollo. Now, of course, Neith won't go as late into the game as Apollo will in terms of being a hyper damage carry, but she does still bring that global presence, and Samshu has been really putting a nice one together here for us.
Wolffury area being heavily warded by Chunks. They want to make sure this vision is all on their side. But touch of force out of the fight here. But level 15 is Cyclone Spin, far and away the most in the game. A lot of rotation coming out from Thurst. They're looking to get some poke down on here. Cyclone Spin does still have that ultimate, so if they get caught out, they're going to be caught out for a lot longer than they're expecting when the jail cell comes on down. We just see Unique is going to be going for a rage early, I would imagine, starting with that hidden dagger into a short sword. We'll see what he decides to turn into, whether it's a Deathbringer rush or not.
Might be a Deathbringer. I'm thinking, like just if you're going to build the Heartseeker.
I don't think they're ahead enough.
Yeah, that's fair. The Rage Blade also benefits a lot from the flat power that the Heartseeker will give you. Yeah, I don't know. How much in-hand gold does he have? Well, he's sitting on 1,300 right now, meaning he's closing in on his ability to actually just go ahead and finish off the Rage Blade.
Still going to be like 2,300 more gold. I mean, he still needs another grand to be even close to that.
Right, to the Deathbringer, but he's pretty close to Rage here, so
right.
we'll know fairly shortly, I'm sorry, what exactly that is going to be.
Samshu picks up a blue on the right side of the map. We just see some pressure on Nantan. He has an ultimate available. CC immunity. He might just pop it immediately. He need a lot of single target damage. Is he going to ult? Nope. He's going to serenade and dash away, then ult. Just to be safe. Didn't know who was coming or when was coming or what was going to happen, but he decided he does not want any of it. Going to go back to the back Harpy camp and clear that out. I don't know why he wouldn't use it to clear it, actually, but he's going to land next to it.
Is that mana? I was waiting for Wolfie to come over and share that XP with the Bumba's mask.
Bumba's.
Yeah, so it's going to be Deathbringer, man. He's got 1,700 gold now saved up. He's making his way. He's going for the big boy.
Oh, boy.
The big daddy. Aurora in the mid lane here. He's got Jacob Malfoy in a bit of trouble. Thor is in the air. And they're going to go to the backline action of Herwin here. The Mercury ultimate coming through the Raw snipe as well. The ultimate coming out from Herwin. Athena is there, putting out the damage, but nicely played by Thurst, splitting that one up. Aurora's going to get stunned out, but he's happy to stay there. Cyclone Spin is here and ready on the rotation. Mercury is there. Cyclone Spin, where's the damage? Bird Bomb, going to try to get into the air. Indeed, he will. Boom. Missing Osmos, the slow, the in-hand. Down he goes. Rampage for Cyclone Spin on the Odin, and we're going to see what this Odin can do with farm. Unique in some trouble. Wolfie, can he hit the Mjolnir's attunement? He cannot, but he ports forward with the in-hand, securing that kill for the Thurst. Bailing out now is Cyclone Spin and Samshu. They've both fallen back, and Wolfie wants to continue this fight, but they're going to call him off, and they're going to look for the Gold Fury here.
Oh, they're so weak. They need, I don't know if they can really defend this. I mean, they're so low on HP. Cyclone Spin is almost on his deathbed, has to go on home. Now it's just going to be Samshu and Aurora. Aurora, very low HP himself. Neith coming from the backside. There's Aurora knocked up and dead. Free kill. They did leash it, but again, they're not stopping them from being able to go back and do it again. Wolfie's going to get the shield from Geb, keeping him alive.
Look at Samshu holding his ground.
He's just trying to buy time.
Yeah.
Is all he's doing. You want to make sure that they just stay off the Gold Fury or leash it away as many times as they can, but they have the raw heal, which makes this infinitely more impossible.
That big AoE slow.
Does Cyclone Spin cancel his back?
Yeah, he wanted to stick around as well, but they're unable to stop the Gold Fury from going to the side of Thurst. Thurst cutting into that Fat Chunks lead, bring it back down under 2,000. XP still sitting at 2K for the Chunks, but signs of life from Thurst here as they've got some momentum going. That last initiation from Wolfie working out quite nicely for them. And while they've had a couple of nice team fights for themselves, but it's 12-7 here, Thurst. they've pulled themselves out of a bit of a hole, but as we kind of mentioned, it's so hard to play Thor from behind. Wolfie has done it here, though. He's got back up to parity and level. His farm is starting to pick up, 8,300 net worth. Looking over at the side of Unique, he's only a couple hundred gold ahead. So hats off to Wolfie for actually putting this one together and bringing it back into the fold with that Thor. Such a difficult god to pay from that position.
Well, he had Heavy Hammer. Now he's going to go into Jotun's Wrath. So it's hard to even make that Heavy Hammer transition if you're going to buy it after boots. You're really just buying it for the slow and little bit of HP that really does help in the early stage, but it's starting to fall off pretty quickly here as we're already at 17 minutes into the match. He has Greater Purification. We see that both supports have Tier 3 Hand of the Gods effect. Cyclone Spin has also gone for Tier 3 Hand of the Gods. So 2 Hog 3s there for Chunks. They're going to be able to use that to secure camps. For those of you who don't know, the Tier 3 Hand of the Gods version that's not the Fist will actually get you the execute or touch trouble here.
Ultimate,
Knocked up. I don't know if he's going to survive this one. Mercury also coming through. Searing Pain going to come out, actually rolling out. Needs the Zephyr, gets the Zephyr. Herwin takes out Brochacho.
He's going to initiate in the mid lane. He's going to go in onto Herwin. Do they have the follow-up damage? Athena ultimate immediately being channeled. Herwin going to try to stand his ground. Aneath ultimate as well coming through. Wolfie getting stunned out. Not sure they have the follow-up. Crashing in now as well as Nantan. They should be able to pick up a roar here. Indeed, they will. A double for Wolfie. 3 kills, just those 2 kills to the side of Thurst. They do trade Brochacho forward, of course, but they have an opportunity now to push into the mid lane. Samshrew is going to make his rotation, but he's going to be spotted by this ward. They may just go right in, but
they can't.
The old ring there, of course, doesn't stop in hands anymore, so not going to be able to do
I think he
much.
knows that the team fight's over. I mean, 2 of his teammates are dead. They don't have any follow-up there. They look for damage on Wolfie. They do a lot of damage to Wolfie, force him out. But, of course, that ultimate bought enough time for them to do 0 damage to that tower. 18 minutes in the match. They've held their ground. Now, keep in mind, that the lead that they had before was much more substantial, about 4,000 lead, now about 1,500. So Thurst is making a pretty significant comeback here. The gold for you was a big gain for them, but the Fire Giant is still standing, of course, and if they get an opportunity, they can go and get it on either side. Aurora has finished off that shell, which will allow his team to take a little bit of the burst damage from the side of Thurst. As far as more itemization, we do see Osmos going for that Mid-Guardian Mail, which will stop the auto attackers Unique and Samshrew, but an interesting choice.
Yeah, early. No, wait, no, that's Mystical, right? Yeah, that's Mystical.
Mystical.
Yeah, so going for that AoE magic damage. Very standard build for the Guan Yu. Let's talk a little bit here about the Chunks and where they sit. So they're kind of entering, or have been now for about the last few minutes in that period I was talking about in the early stages of the game, where they're at the point now where the Odin damage is starting to fall off, right? He can really only do damage to Wolfie and people that don't have any defensive items yet. And Unique has a Deathbringer, but his Heartseeker's been reset 3 times with those early deaths. Whirlwind has the Book of Top that doesn't have his next item online yet. They're kind of in that morass right now. And how are they going to manage to deal with this? They want to sit back and probably try to farm, but it's going to be in Thirst's best interest to keep the pressure up and keep on forcing these fights while they have the mid-game advantage with that Thor-Geb initiation.
Well, Geb is kind of the catalyst here for Thirst. They didn't really ride him into battle and be able to kind of sit on his back and make sure that everything goes the way they want it to. He's got the shield to keep him alive, and of course, that's the main strength of Geb, is that not only does he, have a great initiation, but he also empowers his teammates.
Once again in the sky is Thor. Backside.
The dog not going to find it. Teleporting in, they're looking for Unique. Nice stun coming out, but he's got nothing left to give. In the mid lane, we see a taunt coming out on Brochacho before that, taking a little bit of harassment damage from the Zephyr of Whirlwind, but at this point, it's a lot of hurry up and wait.
Yeah, but I like the aggression from Thirst, right? They know that Fat Chunks don't want to fight, and they're going to try to force them to.
Well, it's a good look. I mean, they got the gold lead slightly, but they have the chance to kind of fight this out. And I think really it comes down to, as far as Chunks goes, is really capitalizing on that Odin ultimate. If they don't utilize it properly, they are really missing out on a very valuable asset. Left side is going to be Fat versus Fat there, as they do have Geb and Odin going head-to-head and doing almost no damage to each other.
Slap fight. Gotta love those support slap fights.
Well, he's not a support, he's a warrior, but we are 20 minutes into the match.
Yeah, he's just only going to be doing about 300-400 damage with a bird bomb in a best-case scenario against a target with, no armor. So he's starting to fall off here, and as you can see, well, it's unlikely to be an in-hand build, but Cyclone's has built a couple of hybrid damage items. Your expectation here would be probably a Magi's, maybe a Witch Blade, or maybe a Winged Blade, like maybe those items. Looking for some kind of either heavily defense-based or at least another more defense-based utility item here.
Well, you see Jacob Malfoy going for the helm. I would imagine it's going to be the Celestial Helm, the cheaper version of the helm, and he does have enough gold to finish it off here, so we'll see what he decides to do when he heads on home. Samshrew is staying in the lane, waiting for the wave minions to come on back so he can farm it on up. Herwid, though, going for that early penetration with that spear, able to kind of pick up some early damage, especially with that Whirlwind. Now, again, just to reiterate, we are on the Kukulkan patch. This is not the Sylvanas patch, so Kukulkan is still doing the full 3-second duration on his Whirlwind. It is not nerfed in this patch here itself. Brochacho, and much like other supports currently in the SPL, are going for that After Sovereignty Talisman.
Yeah, that seems to be... Wait, oh, yeah, that Emerald Talisman, yeah. So you can see kind of the two schools of thought here. Roar is going to have that Magic's Blessing on their side. It's Emerald Talisman.
Roar's up left side, looking for the dunk. Cyclone Spin, looking for the ult, going to find it, but no support coming out. He's now by himself, knocked him in the air. The Thanos will come down as well, looking for the damage. AoE going to come through. There goes the hit, coming in from Unique. Need the damage on Jacob Malfoy, but the heal from Roz coming out. There goes Kukulkan Ultimate's only going to land on a Wolf. Purification Piece prevents him from being knocked up there. Tornado on the ground. Good entrance here from Nanton. Jacob's going to fall down. Need Ultimate coming out. Will it hit Nanton? No, it's going to hit Brochacho there, but very low is Wolfie. AoE going to come out here. Unique gets his kill on Wolfie. He's still alive. Roar goes down. Osmos is going to go down shortly here as well as Unique's forced out of the fight. They're going to back on through, but there goes Herwin. This is so scattered.
Brochacho. Oh no, dashing away is Unique. I'm not sure about it. Oh, the Blake's forward! But Unique continuing to kite here. Now going to try to run away from Osmos, and the Mystical Mark should be enough to take him down here as Talos Ult tries to come through
too fast.
as well. Yeah,
gotta go fast.
A little too speedy with that speed buff, and they're going to peel off.
Well, win it out, run out.
Wow, and yeah, so away he goes. In the meantime, however, Samshu finds a nice opportunity.
They're going to do the slowest Gold Fury ever.
Yeah, they're going
to... The Guan Yu Geb Gold Fury rush.
Try to two-man this down. I don't even know if they can take it. But Samshu's going to pick up a tier 2 for this. They're just trying to find a trade, and I think the Unique is going to know what the deal is. And well,
does he have ult?
He
doesn't have ult. He can't dash in.
Yeah, he won't have his ultimate. Gold Fury at about 55% HP. He's not going to know. He's actually not going to go and contest.
You can't kill...
oh,
they're going to Fire Giant. Oh, great play. They actually know they're doing Gold Fury. They know it's going to be a slow Gold Fury. Brochacho actually leaves Osmos to kill the mighty Gold Fury with a broom. And now the Fire Giant is going to be taken down slowly here, but actually not that slowly with Unique and Samshu in the mix. Can take it down pretty quickly here. Unique in trouble, going to die, but he's going to give a Fire Giant to his team as Osmos wins.
They want to come in. And no, Wolfie cannot close the distance. Yeah, Osmos does kill it. You want me to kill the largest neutral in the forest with a herring?
It's exactly what it feels like, especially when you're swinging that broom to and fro, looking for some kind of absolvency there. But of course, you're going to look at the Fire Giant going to go down in favor of Chunks. They're going to lose Mercury in the process, but honestly, Mercury's so far ahead. He's going to be the highest farm in the game currently, so losing him nets a good gain of gold to the enemy team, but also allows them to get Fire Giant while allowing Mercury to not lose too much besides the stacks on his Heartseeker. Well,
but you'll take that trade every day of the week. The Gold Fury for the Fire Giant. Thurst, well, it was a good idea, but they were just too slow. Maybe one more damage item out of that Guan Yu, or even just some mana to throw at Talos ults here and there. Could have cleared that a bit faster, but unable to stop the Fire Giant attempt. And, well, smart play calling by Fat Chunks there. And, well, Rage Blades are out. Samshu and Unique, so they're kind of out of that awkward period where, are they going to have enough damage in these team fights?
He's got Deathbringer, too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Deathbringer, on top of his Deathbringer, now the Rage Blade. So they've definitely filled that gap well. They did give some ground back to Thurst. In fact, the game is basically dead even here, but a Fire Giant buff to the advantage of the Chunks, and, well, they should be looking to fight here as they have kind of tipped over the edge in terms of their damage potential.
Well, we got a lost artifact there on Jacob Malfoy. He's going to be able to pick up a Ratatouille, I would imagine. I don't see this being a Chronos Pendant, considering the fact that he did go for the Dynasty Plate Helm, and Warlock Sash means he's very heavy on utility and damage. He's got CDR on his boots, so this must be a Ratatouille giving him that damage boost he so desperately needs, as Wolfie is going to go right into double penetration there with the Titan's Bane, and then into a Magi's Blessing. We see that Brochacho has finished off his Winged Blade, and now will not be slowed here by the... there's not a whole lot of slowing inside Chunks, but especially with Zephyr, a lot of slowing potential.
He's kind of holding off the team here as the tier 1 gets pushed through, and the tier 2 is being aggressed now by the Chunks. And, well, I like it. I mean, they need to be looking to fight here. However, I'm not so sure about leaving Samshu over in the solo to try to push into the Phoenix. It's going to freeze Mercury, but freeze the Apollo, but I mean, is this really worth it? I mean, he could be pressuring the tier 1 mid, right, and force a rotation there instead of forcing the Mercury to be frozen, who has that global presence. Granted, he does as well, but Chunks now pushing their way into the tier 2 on the left side. Thor going in, Brochacho looking for an opportunity as well. Cyclospin just trying to get the damage on him so the blink is deactivated. It is indeed Herwin once again getting caught out. Now the wall is there, and he seems to be dead to rights. Wolfie takes a lot of damage. Cyclospin's here. Mercury as well. There's an ultimate. That should be a dead Thor. Indeed it is. With Unique taking a lot of damage for his trouble. Down he will go as well. Samshu does find that kill in Nanton in solo, which means the Phoenix should be going down here as well if they can keep The rest of, well, the Thurst boys engage, and it looks like they're doing plenty of spread damage there. Aurora, really, they just want to keep them in place. And as you can see, dashing back forward, stopping that recall.
Why?
Pushing, yeah, they want to push into the Phoenix on the right side here.
They're trying to force the fight here. They're already
they want to make sure they can't recall.
They're going to end up throwing their lives away here, and they should have bought enough time already. Aurora running in circles. Recycle's been trying to get out of the fight. There goes the jump. I believe Jacob Malfi. I mean, they're going to throw both their lives away here just for the Phoenix. The Phoenix has been successfully killed. Aurora trying to get away. Looks like he's in the back right as Osmos is standing there. Over the wall goes Cyclone Spin. They actually might live. They're still going forward. There's the blink. Aurora's still trying to get out of the fight. If they get out of this, it's going to be a free game for them. Aurora and Cyclone Spin actually survive.
Oh, no.
He's up on his horse.
Oh, no. He's got the Magi's Blessing, no dice, a little bit of tilt coming off Osmos there. Using that ultimate, not getting anything out of it.
Failure on the side of Thurst.
And yeah, they are going to not be happy with that one. They give away a free right side Phoenix there. Granted, it is Fire Giant side, so it could be worse, but you definitely don't want to lose your Phoenix at any point during the game, much less pre-30 minutes.
It's something else you have to keep in mind. It's one more thing taxing your mental state. You have to babysit that lane until the minions have returned back to their normal, non-furious state. We see Wolfie starting with a Morning Star here as his last item. Now, of course, this could be Transcendence, this could be Heartseeker, but either way, buying a stacking item this late in the game is curious.
Yeah, you would think that it's probably going to be... Well, it could be... No. It's going to be a Hydra's Star. For sure.
Hydra's Star?
Yeah.
Not Hydra's Lament?
No, he'll build a Star. And then probably finish off the Frostbound Hammer. And then maybe finish Hydra's Lament.
I don't see the Frostbound. I mean, honestly, those are two items you end up selling, right? I mean, you don't really. No one ever finishes the Hydra's Lament. It's almost always the Hydra Star, just because the difference between the two is very minimal. You get the pass from the Hydra Star, which also gives you the burst damage that you need after using an ability. It also gives you the cooldown reduction, and so he's going to have that here. But again, with the penetration, I feel like he's already got a heavy hammer. He's got a Magic's Blessing. I feel like his team just needs him to have more damage here, or just
the Transcendence would do that, and that would be the other option, and maybe more likely looking at it. He does have 1,150 mana. He's going to get, I think, like 70-something power probably at this stage in the game on a level 20 Thor out of that Transcendence.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, it's gonna end up coming out to be still the most powerful damage item he can pick up, even before it's stacked. I'm sure Cred is in chat, making sure that you all are actually aware of what the values are. But
it's like
I think it's somewhere
97.5.
I think it's somewhere in that 70 range just for picking it up at level 20 base mana on a Thor. So it probably will be the Transcendence or the Hydra Star. Almost assuredly,
well,
one of those
at
two.
max, it's almost 100. It's like 97.5 total if you have it fully stacked up. So it doesn't give you a lot of physical. But again, you know, honestly, I think it is going to be more likely it's the Hydra Star at this point. But again, it's going to make him lack a lot in the overall damage compartment, and also going to make him lack as far as the engagement of crits or more burst potential or anything along those lines. Samshu will be starting the Gold Fury on the left side of the map, and he's got Unique behind him. That's a lot of single target damage coming out between the two of them. This Gold Fury will be absolutely destroyed. Gold going to the way of Chunks.
Look at the positioning for the rest of the Chunks as well. Love that.
Oh,
just standing at the Fire Giant like, you're not gonna Chunks us, Thurst.
Yep. Thor Dunk not going to find anything too far away, so that ultimate is now going to be on cooldown here. The Fire Giant area is completely covered by Thurst. Cyclone Spin kind of holding down that mid lane transition, make sure there's no flank potential coming out. I mean, it doesn't look like Thorst has the position to do this. They're kind of forcing something, but it's not really coming to anything.
Now Chunks are going to go in. It's a blink from the Odin, ringing out Jaco Malfoy. Colt ultimate coming through, but that's not going to find much. But now leaping in is Aurora as well. They've done a nice bit of damage to the Ra. There's an ETH ultimate, but it's going to be shrugged off by Osmos with his ultimate as well. Cyclone Spin in a lot of trouble, and well, rocking a hard place here, it feels like a bit for Cyclone Spin, as he is going to go down, but he's bought, once again, they've bought a tremendous amount of time. There's a Mercury ultimate to the backlines, looking for Jaco Malfoy. Jaco playing that quite well, and actually a brilliant Geb shield by Brocacho. Unique is going to throw his life away as well, but once again, they find the tier 2 on the left side in the trade. Granted, this one's not going to be anywhere near as clean as the last. They've already lost 3 in a roar. Well, Nantan's going to mez him out. Doesn't look like the rest of Thurst. A little bit of miscommunication here, as they really need Nantan's damage on the Fire Giant. See, the problem with starting it this early is that they're going to have to eat the fire, or I'm sorry, that lava, that rising lava that does just so much damage. And here you see it coming out already. And now that's right as Nantan moves in. But yeah, that raw heal going to help him out. Plus
they have raw heal plus squad heal, shield on Geb.
Oh, in the air is Thor. He's going to actually stun out Samshu. Samshu going to get sniped by Jaco. Wolfie can chase this down. There's the hammer porting forward. And is it going to be enough? No, running away is Samshu, rooting out Wolfie, but the Magi's is there, and down will go Samshu, plus the Fire Giant buff for the boys of Thurst. And well, they brought themselves once again back into this game off of the brink. It was looking pretty ugly again, but they find a way to make it happen for themselves, falling back is about half the team to go deal with the fire minions pushing in, but they'll take a tier 1 in the mid as well. And Thurst has brought this one back into their grasp. Great recovery by Thurst.
I'm so surprised here, and honestly, I think it's a case of mistaken identity. I feel like Samshu thinks he's playing Apollo, because he's spending so much time split pushing, and he is basically leaving his team open to 4v5. And when you're in a 4v5 situation, you can't do what Cyclone Spin keeps doing, in that he's initiating on his own and splitting the team fight up. When you have less people, you don't want to split the team fight up. You actually want to centralize it and use your numbers to more of your advantage, kind of funnel people so you can fight together. But, you know, the fact that, you know, the Neath ultimate is not enough to change a team fight. It is a global, but it's not enough to change a team fight. Dual ultimate sometimes. It's one of those ones you can use across the map, but you really need to be an Apollo if you're going to split push like Samshu has been, because every time he pushed the left lane, got the tier 2 tower for 1,500 gold, lost the fire giant, and he didn't even scratch the Phoenix, because by the time he got to the Phoenix, the team fight was over. And Wolfie has gone home, and so now he's being defended here. I am so curious as to see what Chunks is up to. Bit of an update here. We see Wolfie actually picking up that Transcendence just for extra damage. He has the Fist of the Gods as well to make sure he has that strong AoE stun around him. But, you know, with the Fire Giant gain that Thurst had there, you know, look for Chunks to actually start grouping here and use their gold advantage to their net gain. I mean, this is something we've seen about Chunks more often than not, is that they get a lead, but they don't use it properly.
Yeah. That definitely has seemed to have been the case. However, in the meantime, Thurst did lose their Phoenix again during that last engagement. Look at this. All the way up the left side. They're going to backdoor here. Chunks are just going to go all in on this left side Phoenix. And, well, as they noticed, most of Thurst is on the right side. And they're going to make a play.
They're just trying to get him to back. That's all it was. That was just a very risky play, but it paid off. All they did there is they ran up past minions, made themselves visible, ran towards the Phoenix, and immediately turned back around. And what it did is it made 3 of the Thirst members who were looking to take that tier 2 tower, which Chunks couldn't have defended because they don't have the Fire Giant, back to their base and cancel everything. So that was actually a brilliant play, and that's what they intended to do, because it made everything be canceled out. We do see Deathbringer completed here for Samshu. Got a lot of crit damage available. Cyclone Spin moving more into tankiness as he should. His damage going to start falling off here as he is Odin in the late stage of the game. Going to get Hide of the Urchin there. Does have the blink, and you know, one thing to keep in mind is that they have two Hog 3s on the side of Chunks.
Yeah, and I like that. It kind of, as we've been mentioning throughout the broadcast here, that Odin is going to fall off in terms of a damage dealer. Will be more in that kind of supporty role. So having the extra Hog 3 there just makes it so they have another tanky presence to help them take objectives if somehow Aurora does get picked off. Now, Unique is very close to 6 slotted here, but working on that Bloodforge. Curse Gauntlet already up and running. The Magi's Blessing is out for him as well, which makes him a lot more difficult to deal with in the fights.
A lot of damage coming out here. You see Wolfie 7-4 and 10. He's going to be sitting on a very, very stout 203 physical power. In fact, he's going to be, looks like the fourth least. 235 on Apollo there for non-time. 257 physical power.
Thor going at his Brachacho as well, but they don't find a lot off of that initiation. Nanton's actually used his ultimate as well, and, well, they didn't really confirm that was going to work before they fired off all those ultimates. And, well, Chunks with an opportunity to make a stand at tier 2 here. Taking to the horse is Osmo's Cavalry Charge coming out. Samshu going to beads it away. Almost leaping, right back into that stun. Pressuring now onto the left side. Phoenix are Thurst, and, well, it looked like a game where they might not even take a tower. It looks like they're going to take down the remaining towers on the map here, as Fat Chunks will be losing their lead as this tower goes down for the first time this game. There's a big ultimate coming out. Herwin obliterates Nanton. Wolfie in a bit of trouble as well here as Unique continues in. Oh, nope. Porting away is Wolfie, and will there be a Neath ultimate in time is the question it seems like here, but unlikely to be able to target him. Still looking forward are the Chunks. They want to find one more pick off of the back of this. They'll toss Jacob, but there goes the beads. Backside here, they're going to pile in at a Brachacho, and, well, they're going to give up a lot just to kill this Geb, and they might get a Gold Fury on the back of it, but I'm not sure that's really going to be what they're looking for. They're taking a long time to kill off Brachacho here.
Well, he's very tanky, so they're going to chase him around for quite some time. In the meantime, though, while they were buying time, the Titan was taking damage from the Phoenix minions that were coming to the right side. They actually took about half the HP of the Titan, and also buying time with the Fire Jet. So that was a brilliant play by Chunks.
They lose the Phoenix
forced
for the third time.
A long engagement. The Phoenix dropped again because of the minions, and then because they were spending so much time in this delayed engagement that Chunks was forcing them into, Thurst lost half the HP on their Titan, and then the Phoenix for the third time, like you mentioned. The Fire Giant's going to be available here in just about 15 seconds or so. They're looking for a kill on Jaco. They're going to get this one.
They know he doesn't have beads.
Nowhere to go.
Yeah,
the tower's going to fall down here. The spears will fall. I imagine they're going to take this and go straight to fire.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, there you go.
50 seconds on Jaco.
That's the smart play.
25 on Brachacho, and, yeah, Chunks playing a pretty sound game here. Obviously, they're very unconventional in their methods, but this is seemed pretty tight for them.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of locking it in here. The Fire Giant's going to be started up. Now, rotation coming out from Thurst. Wolfie has an ultimate starting up now, looking for the follow-up. Aurora drop it low, but again, they do have 2 Halga 3s. There goes it. Chunks gets to the Fire Giant, looking for follow-up here, forcing Aurora. Aurora's going to fall down here. Gold ultimate going to hit no one as they run on through. Good AoE split, good clustering. Naruto dashing away, can he get the distance? Here comes Unique. 1-2 punch, goes on down. Osmos trying to get away through this. I actually wish he could Osmos through some of these physical grounds. There goes the spears to lock in his death. Guaranteed double kill for Unique. And now we're going to see it's all up to Brochacho.
There's an ultimate available from the Mercury as well, and that Fire Giant buff going to help regen his resources there. The HP already full, the mana going to start ticking back up as well from his mana regen. And well, they're going to push their way into the Phoenix here. There's only one member of Thurst alive for the moment. Jaco will be back up now, but it's going to be 30 seconds before the next player, and this could be enough for the Chunks to take it. We'll see if they try to push on in. 2 Phoenixes now down. There comes Brochacho leaping in. The snipe coming through from Jaco just a bit off target. Oh, Brochacho maybe taking a spill here. There's just so much damage on the side of Unique. Special delivery not going to make it there in time. Unique taking a lot of damage from Jaco.
Oh.
Jaco picks up that kill with a beautiful defense for the boys of Thurst, and for now they will hold out.
Now they're going to be throwing away the lead that they had there by standing on top of the Gem and taking a lot of damage from the Ra. They actually had a chance to actually go for the kill there on the Titan, but were unable to kind of clench the game. It's one of those things, right, where either you're in or you're out. There's no gray area. You have to make sure that if you're committing, you're committing. If not, you back off and look for gain on the map. Go look for a Gold Fury. Go look for jungle camps. Go look for some kind of gain on the map that gets you even further ahead. Tighten that noose on Thirst, and then when you finally go to pull the rope, it's just an instant kill there. And they didn't really do any direction that they had to really make something of that push, and so they lost a little bit there with Unique going down. Unique is going to pick up a Blood Forge as his last item. Of course, does make a very useful item for Mercury. He can throw out the Made You Look, stack up the passive, and get a lot of physical damage and lifesteal from it. Also means he can box notable characters like Wolfie, like Nonton, like Osmos without worrying about his HP too much here. Countering up the Gold Fury is going to be Brochacho, but he's forced out very quickly here by the pressure of Aurora and Samshrew. At this point, the Titan is very weak, and any major gain in teamfight means that Thurst will actually lose their Titan.
Yeah, they can't take any fights really extended out of the base, and I do really appreciate that Osmos is finally going to push out this right side lane. They really needed to do this before the last couple of engagements, and as you can see, noting that Fat Chunks are gathering on the left, they're going to look for that Phoenix over away from the Fire Giant, but they've had a tremendous amount of success with this right side Phoenix. It's gone down 3 times in their favor, which is really not something you normally see, as that Phoenix is the easiest one on the map to defend.
Well, it's also going to be the weakest one now, as it does come back up, but very, very weak on the HP. We do see Hurwind finishing off his penetration. He's got Soul Reaver just to make sure they get that pick and go for the Titan. This is it, though. Brochacho going in. There's no teammates nearby. There goes Thor coming in a little bit late. Apollo's up there as well. Look for the gold. But can he find it? This could be the last fight for Thirst. Could be the last fight for Chunks. Unique in the kill on Nonton. Hurwind going down. Wolfie going down. Double kill for Unique. They need to stop Mercury. That's where the damage is coming from. If they let him live, it's too much. He's going to come back into the fight. Look for the AoE. The splash going to come out. He's got the
they're diving. They're going in.
Oh, this is it.
GG.
That's it. Bird Bomb.
Yeah, Bird Bomb, and there's nothing that Thurst is going to be able to do. Really smart call there once again by the Chunks, who played a really great kind of strategic game here. They keep their tournament hopes alive. Thurst now is no longer going to have a path into the playoffs. They will be in relegations, now fighting over that 5th, 6th seed. Fat Chunks keeping their tournament hopes alive, although they need a lot of help from the rest of the field.
Yeah, that was an interesting play. And that's the moment where, like, you realize it's just one of those obvious things, right? You're looking at it, you're like, wait, why are we fighting? Let's go kill the Titan.
Right. Yeah,
fine. It's cool. Look at the numbers here. You can see 18,000 done there by Wolfie in that match, making a big difference. That actually late game Transcendence made a huge difference for him. We see 29,000 damage and 12.6k healing for Jaco on Raw with a positive score. In fact, you look across the board, 3 out of the 5 members on Thirst had a positive score. They played very well that game. They just didn't have their eye on the objective. Unique dropping 27,000, but a lot of that was single target versus the AoE 29,000 of Jaco Malfoy, 10, 7, and 12. But, speaking of Unique, he's got 10, 7, 12. He's looking so sharp that game, and because he rushed that Deathbringer, that just made him that much more effective. So I'd like to bring it back here to a double kill we saw in the middle of the game there from Unique, where he actually was able to make it out alive even after the fact. Coming on in, popping the ultimate. Of course, this can go through the old ultimate. He knows that. There he goes, popping in. Big crits coming through, looking for the kill. He's going to find Ross shortly here. There goes the ultimate coming out. Cyclone spinning, goes down to Jaco Malfoy. He was very patient this game to go in when it was meant to go in, dashing away, has no cooldowns left, still buying time, swings back around in. Look at this.
And now it's game time. He's like, oh man, look at all this
time
food.
To play.
Yeah, down goes Wolfie. He'll get some lifesteal off of that one, and well, the slow and Nonton, just a couple of swift punches from Unique. and he'll make it out of this one alive somehow as well, if you recall. The crazy chase is on, and this is really the moment where Samshu's split pushing. And although it's pretty strange and non-conventional to split push a
nice hog there.
It works out beautifully here, and yeah, he will end up making it out of this, as will Aurora on the Athena. And well, a really entertaining game from the Chunks and Thurst.
That's right.
Extremely well fought, boys, and well, some very clever play calling from the Chunks there. A couple of really the ones that stand out, of course, that Fire Giant call when Thurst was trying to take that slow Gold Fury, and then later that final dive on the Titan. Although that one didn't take a whole lot of brain power, it takes that wherewithal and game sense to be like, wait, we don't actually have to kill these guys. We just go kill the thing that makes us win.
Yeah, we can end at this point. But that's going to be it for that match, guys. We're going to be going to the next match, is Cog Red versus Snipe. The boys of Cog Red, again, are locked in, so the pressure is kind of relieved from them. They don't have to worry too much about the next few matches they're going to play throughout the next week and a half. But Snipe, they're on the chopping block. They're in 4th seed. They cannot lose any more matches. They want to make sure, because you're looking at it, especially coming off a win with Chunks, they definitely have a chance to lose that 4th seed slot.
Absolutely, yeah. Snipe, definitely a game to win for them. That is going to do it for game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. One more game this evening here from the North American Smite Pro League. We'll be bringing that to you at the top of the hour, about 20 minutes from now. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you then. My name is hi-rez Bart. That's Dry Bear, and we'll be right back.